That next minute, then it's not working. It's just
Technology.
yeah, it's just learning learning new systems. I'm
Uh,
you know bloody hell. It's just here we go. I think we are live. Let's have a look. 5 4. It's live on this end. What was getting me is the audio and video latency. That there's a lag between the two, and it is
right.
rather
Okay.
it is annoying. So uh, not good at all. Yeah, we've got an excellent connection, and we are well, we're we're live. Yes, we are. We're actually live. Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ben, for phoning into Radiation, the number one station for the Asian invasion. And it's a pleasure to have you on the. Well, it's going to be part of the full English Please Doris show because this is our first ever live sort of video interview we've ever done um, on YouTube. And how are you feeling this afternoon, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's not raining for a change in Scotland, but I'm good.
Oh wow! Beautiful. Where about in Scotland are you?
So I'm just west of Glasgow.
Oh my God! Wow! I think my mother-in-law they were from Easter House.
Okay.
If that rings a bell, and she's a really she's a cool woman. You know, she's really grounded, down to earth, but she will definitely knock somebody out. So,
You
so
have to say that about the in-laws.
yeah, yeah, certainly, yeah. So, right, rather than jumping into your new track and discussing that straight away, um, how did you how did you start in music?
Um, Kind of a bit like everyone back in the day. Like I'm going to show my age now a little bit, but like when I was sort of like 15, 16, used to go to auditions. I lived in Kent, so I'm from Kent, just outside of London.
Mm.
And I used to get the Stage magazine, which was like the kind of go-to place for auditions and things. And I spent every Friday, Saturday, Sunday down at Pineapple Studios, kind of auditioning for all the boy bands and that kind of stuff. And was lucky enough to get into one when I was really young. I was like 15 years old. And we toured with like Westlife and S Club 7 and did some really good high profile gigs. And I got lots of like performing experience with them. And it kind of just snowballed from there, really. I started to, when the band didn't work out as many of the boy bands did, you know, the market was saturated with them back then.
Yes.
I kind of just started trying to figure out where like I wanted to be because I never really fit the boy band mold. I was too tall. They were all about 5'6", and I was about 6'3". So
Wow.
I was always having to like duck down behind everyone in photo shoots. And I've always had such a unique voice that I generally took lead. It was hard to blend in with others. So it took me a good few years really as a kid to kind of figure out, you know, where I was going to be as an artist and kind of started to go solo. It was actually Pete Waterman who told me not to do bands anymore. I auditioned for Popstars The Rivals, and Jerry and Louis were both, yep, you're amazing, it's good. And Pete Waterman said to me, he was like, you're not a band singer. Your voice is too big. He was like, stop trying to fit in, be yourself, go out on your own. And I was like, obviously like 17, I think at the time, I was like, no, I just want to be on the telly, give me a shot. But it was good advice. You know, it's worked out in the end. But
Were you were you ever is it what you've always wanted to do?
I was quite late, really. Like I think I was about 14 or 15. Literally, when I discovered the singing and that I could do it and that I was good at it, and I really enjoyed the attention that I got from it, especially from my parents at that age. To get such kind of like your parents excited about something was really cool. And kind of since then, yeah, it was just kind of the everything. Like music is just the hugest part of my life. Without it, you know, I don't even know what I would do. In all honesty.
No, but for the mere fact that you've actually been on tour, you know, with Westlife, S Club 7, Jamelia, Sugar Babes, is it 911, 911. So I think
Yeah.
that's just bloody brilliant. I think wow. So tell us about your new track. What do you want from me?
So this kind of came about. I've been working on new music since last year. Really, I released Anything in the summer, which was a fresh track that hadn't been on my sort of debut album. And me and my producer write very organically. We kind of fire ideas back and forth. Poor man gets really crazy voice notes from me at stupid o'clock in the morning, singing random melodies and things that I hear. And he actually came up with this kind of a hook of an idea. We'd both been talking about the Caroline Flack incident and just how devastating it was. And social media, and I guess nowadays, people's need for acceptance on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, that desperation that we all kind of have for validation from strangers, people that we don't know, and we only really focus on the negatives. We forget about the thousands of nice things that people say, and then suddenly just one person can come in and just trash that. And the Caroline Flack thing, the Be Kind, really hit home. It was just devastating to lose such a talented girl from making a mistake. We've all been there. We've all drank too much. We've had arguments with our partners. We've probably thrown cups around the room. Things get heated in that split moment. And for that moment, the first line of the song is, "Did it really matter that we got crazy?" Was a reference to that we had this moment, this kind of real and then it just exploded for her. But I wanted to take the angle on the subject, because it could quite easily be a bit, heart bleeding ballad, I guess, for the loss of someone so talented and so young. But I wanted to make a bit more of a statement with it, and it have a juxtaposition of the music against the lyrics, and the lyrics are kind of pleading to people, what do you want from me? Look what you've done. Words matter. It doesn't matter if it's written, if it's in a magazine, if it's on somebody's Instagram page. Those tiny digs, those little chips away at someone can really make a difference. And I just wanted to have a song that people would listen to, and the music instantly it's a fast one, it's a good beat, it's very current. You go, oh wow. But then when you start singing along and the lyrics start to penetrate, you go, oh wow, okay, this isn't that normal, let's go dance, let's get drunk and do shots. This has actually got some substance to it. And I kind of want my songs to have that, a story, something underneath that's real, that people can then relate to, because I think that's where all the best songs come from.
Wow. So how long did it take to go from thought form to final record?
My producer Dan will tell you this. I'm very impatient. I wrote the song in maybe 10 minutes. He had an idea that he sent over, and I took snippets of what he had already and adjusted and then rewrote and wrote the verses and kind of went from that. And then the music, Dan kind of sent over a draft. We tweaked it a little bit, very quick. To be fair, we can usually turn a song around in a week.
A week?
It's crazy. Oh, easy, yeah. I mean, for No One Knows, it's a 12-track album, and I recorded 10 tracks in 4 days.
You're putting me to shame. it's absolutely brilliant. So are you the kind of artist who'll have like but do you let projects sit in the background? Where are you really fussy as well? When it comes to your productions, like sort of thing, or does someone else make the ultimate decision as to it's good to go and stop being fussy, Ben, sort of thing?
Oh no, it's totally me. I'm an absolute control freak. I'm a complete wannabe producer. I'm really fortunate that, as I said, Dan, who runs DSM Music, who's producing the whole album, and we're both executive producing this next album completely. He reins me in where it needs to be reined in. So he's very good at saying, right, that's pitchy, that's not this, maybe we should not do that. But he's also very good if I hardline something and say, no, that's exactly what I want. I don't want it to be too polished. I don't like auto tune. I don't have a lot of effects and things like that. We like to keep it real. I want to be able to sing the song live and have someone go, that sounds exactly like the CD. I don't want it to be too far tuned and things like that. But it comes completely down to me and Dan. We kind of do it together, but ultimately me. I'm really bad.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So I do you actually spend do you have a piano at home or a keyboard or whatever that you practice scale work on?
I honestly, I don't stop singing, even if I'm just doing the washing up or something. There's music playing in my house constantly. This is the quietest it's been all day, and I no, it's like I'll have ideas. I'll have a theme. I'll say to Dan, like I've got this song in my head, and I'll, as I said, I'll send him voice notes. I don't play instruments, and then he'll send me like a real rough piano track that I'll then write to, and then I'll do some scratch vocals. And a couple of times, the vocals that I've done just on the demo we've actually used. So "Sick of the Sound" was pretty much a demo take because it had so much emotion. It just came out really well. And Dan was like, "You're not going to better that. Stop trying. We'll use this." And I'm very thorough with my. So all the vocals are me, all the background vocals, all the harmonies, all the ad libs, every vocal on all of my songs is me. And I send across hundreds of stems of harmonies and double tracks and back-ends and things like that. So it's I'm a bit of a control freak in that sense.
Good, because the fussiness has clearly paid dividends because let's say we go back to No One Knows reaching number 2 in the iTunes vocal, the UK iTunes vocal album chart. What do you make of that, man? That's nuts.
It was great, like everything. I've been so fortunate with the charting of songs. I was with a label called Energised when I did No One Knows, and it crossed over into the main charts, like hit like 43 or something like that, which is the highest charting album in that chart for that record label. And they've been going like 30 years. They've got Nikki French, Rosala, Sean Smith, all these amazing artists. So they're coming completely new and very green, and I'm probably overly confident with the sound that I wanted to create. They're a very different label to what we put out for me, and they were so trusting in my own vision. I was really fortunate. To have like success in that sense is crazy. I mean, Falling In went to number 1 on the iTunes vocal charts, and Learning to Let You Go. Like all of these things, just I was blown away by it because I still don't believe it. When it comes to releasing day, I hide in my bed under my duvet. I'm like, no. And Sick of the Sound obviously charted amazingly, just gone at the beginning of the year. And I'd been out the night before and I was hiding in bed, and my manager's ringing, my phone's going off the hook, and kind of got up and I'm like, he's like, "You're number 1. This is this." And I was like, "What's happening here?" It's crazy. So I'm still very humbled by it, to be fair, that people are even listening. It's crazy.
I think I interviewed Sean Smith from an artist of Energize recently, and he spoke very, very highly of you, especially on the project Dirty Mirrors. So tell us a bit about that.
Dirty Mirrors is such a good song. So Sean and I are on the same management, and I was always a fan of him on X Factor and stuff. He always had a really great presence, a really good stage performer, which is something that I am always nervous about. So I'd reached out to Stefan when I got the song, my manager, and sort of said, "Look, I've got this track. Do you think Sean would be interested in a duet? I'd love to have a male-male duet. There's not very many of them out there. I think it's important. I don't want it to be anything slushy. It has to be organic." And Dirty Mirrors came about, and it was a really funky track. Been listening to Sean's stuff. He just released a track called Magic, which is still one of my favorite songs. And reached out to Sean and sent him the demo. And Sean, bless him, was just like, "Dude, I can't sing like that. I'm not doing that." He was so complimentary of my voice and stuff. And we met a few times, went over the track, then went in the studio together and recorded it. And we done a few gigs. We did a showcase in Brighton. We've done one in Manchester. And we've actually become really good pals. I'm really supportive of his new album that's coming out. It's done so well. I've had a sneak preview of some of the tracks and that. We've included No One. Dirty Mirrors is even on there, a remix that one of my friends from San Francisco, T-Mac, did, which is an awesome remix. So it just worked. It's very organic. We're similar enough artists, but different. When you listen to our songs collectively, they're very different. But for some reason, Dirty Mirrors came together very organically, and I think it sat well in both our voices. So it worked as a good feel-good track.
Absolutely brilliant. So, you may as well give a plug. So, how would people find Dan at DSM?
So Dan's all over my social media. I'm talking about him all the time, the poor man. So he is DSM Music. He did half the album. He did half of No One Knows, and he's done all of this. We produced Anything, Sick of the Sound, and What Do You Want From Me. We're halfway through the production of the new album. We've got 6 songs in the bag. with another 6 to go. We've already written at least another two that are definitely going to be produced. So I'm hopeful for an October release for the album. But you can find Dan on, I think all his stuff is just DSM Music. But he's linked to my social media as well. So you can find him through me. And he's great. And he's looking for work still. He's taken on hundreds of projects at the moment. So
I don't know how people cope with all these with all these projects. It's absolutely mad, but it's brilliant because okay, family support. Have you got family support in what you do?
Yeah, my mum has always been my biggest supporter. I mean, she was the one, giving me my train fare down to London when I was 15, and she's funded half of this album because I've gone independent. I'm not with Energised. I'm doing it through my management now. So SP Music are releasing my new album. They released Anything and Sick of the Sound as well. So I pay for my own production and things. So I'm quite an independent artist, and my mum has always been my biggest fan. Even if she doesn't like the song, she says she does, and she's funded half of this album, so I've been fortunate in that sense. And I've got my 2 kids who love it. Drew, my eldest son, is 7, and he took Alexa into school to do show and tell about me. Took like my CDs in and had Alexa play my music to his class, which was really cute. Cool. We had to teach him that you can't say Alexa play Daddy. You have to tell him the name because he didn't understand why Alexa didn't know who Daddy was.
Brilliant. I think it's brilliant. I think it's very, very motivating and inspirational for the next generation as well to have a dad which is so creative and to actually be singing every day around the house as well. That's a real good energy as well. To be honest, it's a real nice energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's better
I
than
appreciate that.
Not really. It's better than walking about with a calculator every day, like me being miserable. But it's just I'm not even kidding. But it's all good. But I do have my days where I'm doing the dabbling in the music. But a lot of time gets eaten up by radio, and I love the radio show because we get to connect with great individuals such as yourself. And how did he actually get working with Energised in the first place?
It's from karaoke. Literally, I was singing in Glasgow. I had long moved up here. I've been here about 5 years, and I was singing at this pub in Glasgow. And one of their other artists was in the bar, and they were doing this little talent show that I didn't want to do because I hate talent shows. I always lose. People are always saying, "Oh, you're a professional," and I hadn't been at that point. So I got bullied into doing it, and I lost, as you do. And someone had live streamed my song, and the guy who was one of the judges, record labels, Energised, and they reached out to me on social media and like, look, we really loved your stuff. Like, we see you write your own things. Are you interested in doing anything? So I went down to Leeds. One of their artists, Susanna D, was doing a launch for her single, and they asked me to be one of the opening acts. So I went on and did a set. And unbeknownst to me, there was a group of people in the bar that I'd never been to Leeds. There was a massive group of lads that used to go on holiday when I lived in Gran Canaria. I used to sing in the bars out there. That remembered me. So when I came on stage, the whole pub went crazy. So I think it was fate. So the guys at Energised were like, "What's going on? Who's this?" So I was up there living my best life, and they signed me on the spot, which was great. I thought it was just a single deal, but we sat down, had drinks, and Gary and Dave, who head the label, basically said, straight away, we're going to do one single with the option for an album because we're really excited to see what we can get from you. You're so different to anything we've worked with, and we really want to expand into like a more pop sound. And they were so supportive. I mean, I had the best time with them. I really did. There was no animosity when I decided not to stay on for a second album. It is purely because I'm impatient, and they have a roster of amazing artists doing lots of things. So their budgets are split out between too many people, and I wanted to follow up yesterday. So I was like, my next album, like, this is October 2018, the album came out, and in November I'm like, can I go back in the studio? And they were like, maybe wait a year. So I was just impatient, and decided to go for it and have full control. So it's the only reason. Other than that, I'm still really close with them. I'll be performing at their events and stuff. Anything they do, we're still very, very close in that sense. So I'm fortunate.
Have you had the pleasure of meeting Jonathan?
No, I haven't met Jonathan yet. We've worked together on things like this. He's set up some interviews and stuff for me. And he's always been a big supporter on my social media. As soon as I signed to Energised, he's always been really supportive, and I think he buys all my stuff and things like that. So yeah, he's a lovely guy. He's always looked out for me, which is really nice.
Brilliant. Okay, What's your favourite food and why?
Oh God, I'm an absolute takeaway-aholic. I don't cook ever, and my favorite food is McDonald's. And I know it's the worst food in the world, but I just love it. When McDonald's was closed for 3 months, it was the saddest 3 months of my life. And today, at 9 o'clock this morning, I was waiting outside McDonald's because the breakfast menu came back on, so I could have a muffin.
Brilliant,
It
brilliant,
just
brilliant,
makes me happy. I don't know why.
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. All good because anyhow, you said an Indian. I'm like, bloody hell, you got yourself an Indian.
I struggle with things that are too hot, and I always get an Indian, and I enjoy it for about 10 minutes, and then I'm like, my mouth's on fire.
Oh bloody hell! Do you know what it is? I'm spending a lot of time in the kitchen doing a lot of cooking as of late. As of the last like 3 months, I've been cooking everything. So everything when I go shopping, I'm literally getting raw ingredients. So there's no you have to cook or starve sort of thing. So it literally is. It's made me pretty proficient in the kitchen, and that to me is like a mix in itself, as in producing music. Like every element and component, like a sound,
Yeah.
you're putting it in there. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
Takes soul. Takes soul to cook.
it's true, But
I,
you mentioned spice, right? Me, I can't take too much of it. I can't. But I'm going on a wild tangent over here. But yeah, have you right ever lost motivation or hit a hurdle? And how did you deal with it?
musically,
Yeah.
many times, yeah. Like when I was in my probably mid 20s, you hit that point where you're not living at home anymore. All your friends have got kind of jobs, they've been to uni, they've all got these qualifications, and I'd kind of been trying to sing, auditioning different bands, different kind of avenues of backing singing, things like that. And yeah, I hit a wall where I was kind of like, this is not going to happen now. Like it's past. So I had my job, which then turned into a full career. I have a day job as well. I work in pharmaceutical law, so I get new drugs to market. So I've been super busy with the COVID stuff, working to get with lots of different companies, working on different vaccines and stuff like that. So that's my full-time job, Monday to Friday. So I kind of got into that in my early 20s, and then kind of, I think, hit that age where everybody finds themselves, like, who are you going to be as an adult? And kind of, I wanted to drive, so my money went into different places. I didn't focus as much energy on music as I should. I always sang, I always did karaoke and performed in gigs and stuff, but never in the professional sense. And it wasn't really till I sort of hit about 29, 30 that I had that rush back, and I was kind of like, right, it's not over. I need to do this. And I went out to LA, San Francisco, met with writers, started producing, actually working on original material. And that's really when it snowballed from there. And that's where the Energized thing that all started to happen, and the energy kind of moved from that. But I would say that the latter part of my 20s was the hardest. Yeah, really, really difficult.
Wow. So hold on. So if you're working in law as well, how are you juggling the time?
I don't sleep.
That's mad. So is this really what you want? Did you want to be a lawyer as well when you was a young lad?
No, oh God, no. This was just a job that I fell into and trained up as an apprentice, and just worked. I'm a hard worker, as you'll get. Like, I'm very determined when I'm doing something. I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I started working for a company called Pfizer, and I worked my way up, and now I'm working for a new company, and I kind of freelance out to all different pharmaceutical agencies, and I work with the European Medicine Agency, make sure all the pharmacovigilance and that's done. So it's a really interesting job, and especially at the moment with everything that's going on in the world, I'm definitely making a difference. But it's one that I switch off at 5:30, and then from 5:30 till midnight, I'm in the studio at my house. I'm writing, I'm recording, I'm at photo shoots, I'm doing videos and interviews and bit of everything. So I don't sleep.
That segues me into like a question which I had further down the list. So regarding your studio at home, what's your favorite bit of kit, hardware or software?
Probably my MacBook. My MacBook is what I credit with turning me into a songwriter, because before GarageBand and things like that, where you could plug and play a microphone and just do it, it was really tricky. You had to go into recording studios, and they were always so expensive, and you were always going in doing covers, and it just it never manifested to anything else. And when I got my first MacBook in 2000, 2009, I think it was when I really started to write. So all of those ideas that I'd been having for years that would just come and go and be lost, I would just plug the microphone in and just sing at. I mean, my hard drive is full of songs. There's thousands and thousands of choruses, hooks, licks, melodies, lyrics. Just my brain is in there. I'd be dead if anything happened to it. But yeah, my probably GarageBand and my MacBook is what I would credit me as being a songwriter.
Wow, 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 wow. GarageBand is really, 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 really powerful in itself. Like, I'm an old school, I was an old eMagic Logic user from when I was a young lad. Now that'll take you back, I think I'm older than you considerably. But what I'm saying is, yeah, the ability to record at home. So if you're tracking vocals at home, what sort of are you tracking vocals at home?
Yeah, so all my vocals are done at my home studio. I've just got a new microphone and everything. Dan said to me, "Your mic's crap. You need a new one." So I was like, "All right, fair enough." It was fair. So I've just got a whole new setup, which I'm still figuring out how to do. But the crispness of the vocals is insanely different. And I think the difference from "What Do You Want From Me" and "Sick of the Sound," you can hear the difference, I think, in quality.
What mic did you pick up?
I don't know what it's called. It's here.
Brilliant. Just going to pull it out. Brilliant. I love it.
Where is it? Oh, God. It is a SE2200.
Yeah, man. A condenser microphone. Absolutely brilliant.
One of them.
Brilliant. So what were you using formerly?
It was a Samsung G Track or something.
Yeah.
I'd had it a while, but it was literally a plug and play. But I'm clean enough on my vocals that I managed to get a decent enough sound from it. And then Dan did his studio magic and took out the noise and stuff. Whereas now I've got like the booth thing and the sound barriers and things like that. So it's a much clearer sound.
Right. So the thing is, what's the last track that you used the G Track on?
It would have been "Lie to Me" off of No One Knows.
Dude, you sound wicked on that. You sound proper. So
I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. It's down to the producers. It's not me.
No. There's an old saying in the audio world that you can't polish a turd. So which means you're brilliant. No, it's true. So which means you're brilliant anyway. Because unfortunately, sometimes we do get bombarded with vocals, which you can only do so much with. And you've got the gift, and you definitely.
I appreciate that.
No, you really have. You really have. Else you wouldn't be on my show.
I appreciate
put it that way, because that's what it's about. Right. So, do you know? Bloody, I've lost my trail of thought there. So, families. I know. Music videos. Right. Talk to me about music videos and just tell me a story about being on set or.
I haven't really done music videos. I've avoided them like the plague because I'm such a goofball. Like, I'm a natural goofball, so I can't be serious. We always had lyric videos. There's not much budget for them in small labels and stuff at the moment. There's no MTV like there used to be. Gone are the days of like Britney Spears videos that would make millions. Which is a shame. It's something I always wanted to do. And then when the opportunity came up, I was a complete freak out. I was like, we did one for No One Knows. And that was literally my friend on an iPhone down the beach in the blistering cold, walking along the beach, and me singing to my phone that's in my top pocket so I can hear the music very quietly and trying to mime along.
Wow.
Which is awful. Anything was a live performance. I was fortunate that was my brother-in-law in the crowd, literally just filmed me on stage at a Pride event up in Glasgow.
Yeah.
I was on the main stage, debuted the song. We added some flashing lights and some lyrics, and that was that. And Sick of the Sound, I was in New York in December for my mum's 60th birthday. So we took a few hours down in Central Park, surrounded by people, which was just mortifying. And I'm walking along the bridge that's in Home Alone, singing out loud to like nothing. And my brother-in-law's there with the camera and like doing all this. And in the video, there's a little lady behind, and I'm walking down the bridge, my big coat, and I'm all cold, and she spots what's going on, and just in the back, like she's just here, and you see her go, and you couldn't edit her out. So now in the video, whenever I see that, what you see is this little lady go in the background.
I gotta
So
check
yeah,
it out.
it's so funny. It's when I'm on the bridge, but I haven't done a full production music video. Everything we've done has been done on an iPhone.
Yeah, but still, regardless, the drive's there and the music's great. So which is top notch. So, can you please tell me a funny studio or live performance story, please, Ben?
Oh God! So as I said before, we did No One Knows. 10 of the songs from No One Knows were recorded in 4 days down in England at my friend Dave's recording studio, and my manager was there. Sean had come in to do Dirty Mirrors, and my favourite song on the whole album is No One Knows. I wrote that song, and even to this day, I think it's probably one of my best vocal arrangements, performances. I mean, the scale and the range on that is crazy. And I was so excited for this song to record it. It was like my most exciting thing. But I'd had obviously these 10 songs in the 4 days, and I'd left No One Knows as my last song to sing. And we got in there, and I did quite a bit of it. And there's 2 notes at the very end that are like big sustained high notes that go right over all the guitars, these big massive parts of the songs. And I had nothing. I was squeaking. Literally, I was going, like just sounded like Kermit the Frog. There was just nothing there, and I literally had to say, guys, I can't do it. Like we're gonna have to stop. And I had to wait a week and record those notes at home and send just these 2 notes in the song of me singing really high to the studio to have them mixed into the track, because I just, after being so confident, hitting all these notes, I got to the last day and just died. My voice just completely gave up. So No One Knows is half recorded in my bedroom.
Oh wow, wow! Absolutely top notch, man. Top notch. I asked you before the show, right? Hit me with 3 of your favorite tracks, dude. And you did. So you give me "Butterfly" by Mariah Carey, "Temporary Love" by Ben Platt, "Because of You" by Kelly Clarkson. So tell me why. What do you like about these songs?
So I think "Butterfly" by Mariah Carey is probably one of the greatest female vocal performances of all time. I think the range that she uses, the way she builds the song, the fact that she wrote it, produced it herself, the backing vocals, just everything about that song is, in my opinion, per perfection when it comes to how a woman's power ballad should be sung. It hits everything. It's just an incredible track. Kelly Clarkson's "Because of You" again is up there with my favorite songs ever. It's just a really honest pop song. It just is so well written, and I like the story behind it. Obviously, it's written about her own personal experience, but also the record label hated it. They didn't want her to release it. She fought her ground, stood her ground as an artist, and said, "No, I want this. It's amazing." And it went on to win her a Grammy. So,
Wow.
like, I like the feeling behind that, the self-empowerment of, she knew what she wants, she knew what kind of an artist she wanted to be and what kind of sound she wanted, and stuck to that. And it's one of her most popular songs. And I think that really resonates with me because I'm exactly the same. I'm very opinionated on who I am, what my sound is, and what I want to put out there, because it's representative of you. The record label don't have to like it. You have to sing it. You're the one it's attached to, essentially. So that song's always stuck with me because of the whole story behind it. And "Temporary Love" by Ben Platt's a relatively new one. I found this guy in the last couple of years. He's a Broadway singer. He was in Dear Evan Hansen. He's done movies and things like that. He's in The Politician. And his voice is insane. He's done a live show of his album on Netflix at the minute, which I watched a few months ago. And I would love to sing with him. Me and him would have so much fun. I can just tell his trills, the way his notes, his range. He's one to watch. He's going to be up there with some of the greats with the voice and that. And that "Temporary Love" is very soulful and gospely with a pop edge that's just not being done by anyone else. So the originality to come out him with that song is just it blew me away. It's something I've been singing it nonstop since I heard it. So
You're a very, very humble individual, because like during the interview, I'm looking through the profile again and your bio, and I'm just picking up on bloody hell. Sick of the Sound, right? Reached number one on the UK iTunes vocal album chart. So that's flipping impressive, man. That
Oh, that song broke my heart as well.
tell me more.
I think that's why people related to it. It's well, that's my like Lewis Capaldi, Someone You Loved, and Adele moment. That song. That's my heartbreak from my breaking up with my ex, and that was my solace. That's how I got over it. That's how I dealt with that song. And I I wrote it really fast, maybe 15 minutes, and I recorded it, and just I was gone. I was so emotional, and you can hear that in the song. And everyone that listens to it, the amount of messages I've had specifically about that song, people have said like, that's just to know that you've got through that and you're at the other side. It's given me that kind of drive as well. That's a special song to me. I can't sing it live at all. I'll just cry.
It's cool. It's cool. Wow. How has the lockdown affected you as a musician? Have you been working harder in the studio at home?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I think the first couple of months, I took it really hard. I'm a super social person, so to be stuck in the house, I work from home anyway. Normally, my day job, I work from home because I'm in Scotland. My office is in London, but I'm out and about. After work, I'm at the gym. I'm meeting friends. I'm performing. I'm gigging. I'm doing stuff. So it hit me really hard, and it took me a couple of months to really adjust to that. And then Dan and I had a few calls, and we really kind of hit our stride. And What Do You Want From Me really came. I wasn't going to release this as a single just yet. This was I didn't want to. I wanted to finish the album and have a brand new album that no one had heard. But when we did What Do You Want From Me, literally in April, end of April, we listened to it back, and the three of us, Dan, me, and my manager Stefan, kind of sat there and said, "We need to get this out now. It's so of this moment. We need to do it." And then that spurred me on to right, come on, then let's get going with the album. And we've done maybe 5 tracks in the last 3 months, I think. So it's
Absolutely.
crazy.
It is crazy. So, what's the ultimate goal for you musically?
I I don't even
I threw a curveball
as
there. Sorry.
no, like, do you know what? As long as I can still do what I'm doing, I'm happy. Would I like bigger success and a bigger audience and people to hear me? Of course, you'd be a liar as a performer if you didn't want that. But as long as my music touches someone and I'm able to keep doing it, and there's people like Stefan and people like Dan that are behind me and supportive and want to work me creatively so that I can have this outlet and create this music, then I've already succeeded. I'm already doing everything you can dream of doing. I think as you get older, the fame and the glitz and the lights, they're not as important as the fact that you are getting to do this. Because there's a million amazing singers 10 times better than me that don't have the drive or the luck or the people behind them to allow them to do this. So to be able to keep making music, to be able to put a second album out, I didn't need having one album out on iTunes, and that was like a dream. Looking at my second album being released this year is just ridiculous. I'm crazy excited.
You're a very humble, grounded individual, and I think it runs the streak of pure hard work, which gives the sense of like it's like a subtle confidence there, and you're not overstated with it, which is very very good because you actually put the work in the studio. So it's a massive salute for doing that. So
Oh, thank you.
that's all right, man. So we're already in July, so we know what else can we expect from you this year, and anything else before Christmas? Because what do you want from me is out on is it the 16th?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. My album will be done this year. Like, as soon as that last track is done, it's coming out. I'm not one to sit and leave it in a cupboard somewhere. So as soon as that's done, I'm going to push for October. It will be 2 years in October that I release No One Knows. So I think it'd be a nice anniversary to be able to match October with the new album. So that's my plan at the moment.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Um, any more collaborations that who else would you collaborate with? Because you already mentioned some. Who did you mention earlier on? You'd love to do a track with. Was it? Was it
Ben Platt, oh, I'd love
Platt?
to sing
Yeah.
with him. Yeah. One of my favorite things is singing with other people, whether that's a bad person at karaoke or an amazing talented person like Sean Smith. I love singing with other people. I've got some incredibly talented friends. I'm part of a gospel choir, Soul Nation. There's some incredible artists on there. There's a girl called Red. She sings out of this world. I've been bugging her for a duet, but she's super busy. So yeah, honest to God, like I would, I'd love to work with lots of different artists. You know, Kelly Clarkson, all of the big names. You know, I could do like 10 albums just the duets.
Wow. Are you one of those singers which you've got your A, your B, your C, you got your notes burnt into your head. So if someone's singing out of tune next to you, you're not going to sort of converge towards their out of tune note and sort of thing.
Oh no, no. And I think that comes from drunken karaoke since I was about 17, because me and some of my favorite people to sing with are people down at the karaoke's and stuff. One of my best friends, Christine McMurdy, who runs the bar in Glasgow that I got discovered in. Me and her sing together all the time, and it's one of my favorite things to do. My friend Elaine has got the biggest. She's like an Alison Moyet. Like, her voice is insane, but she's just not interested in doing it professionally. She's a mum. She's got kids and a profession and a job. She's happy, and when we sing together, it's just electric because we just know each other. And I think singing for so many years at karaoke, when you are drunk, so your notes are maybe a little bendy over here, you have a natural ear to pick up, and you can follow. You can almost sense where someone else is going, so you just kind of follow the wave. And I just tend to do that. I'll always find a harmony in anything, to be fair.
So did you never? How did you overcome the hurdle of stage fright? I'm sure everyone gets it.
I still get stage fright. I think I'm a terrible performer. Like, I think that I would be the perfect show for me would be in a theatre or something, pitch black, everybody sat in their seats, and I can just come on stage. The sound's perfect, and I can just sing all my songs in the dark.
I love it.
That's great. I've got a face for radio.
No, don't say that.
But
I'm in radio. I love it.
I'd love to do that. I would love to do radio. But I just like when I did my shows with Sean and things like that. Sean is such an energetic performer. Like, he has got so much stage presence and charisma, and I kind of wander on stage and stand in the middle of my microphone. And I think I don't know if you've noticed, I talk a lot. So when I'm on stage, I tend to drift in and out of stories. And I've been referred to as like the male Adele. I say very inappropriate things. I drink shots in the middle of songs.
Wow.
All that kind of stuff. So I try and make it relaxed so that I don't feel the pressure that it's a performance. So I try and be jovial and funny and interact with the crowd and make friends with whoever's there watching, and ask them questions and things like that to make it more interactive. So it's like an audience with, opposed to just me standing singing at them. Because if I had to do that, I just fall apart and it's too much. So I just talk my way through it.
Dude, you're knocking back the shots between songs. What's your favorite drink?
Oh, Zabuka.
Cool. But doesn't it dry up your throat though? Like, the alcohol in the system.
So I don't drink if I'm performing. So if I've got a gig, I won't drink the week before. When I get on stage and I start, my voice will hold out till the end of that set. If I drank beforehand, it would dry up, especially with the range that I use in my songs. So I don't drink before, but I'll drink during the show because I know that it's coming to an end, and it doesn't hit you enough. It takes a while for it to get into your system. But I don't drink before a show. I don't drink before I'm recording and things like that. But yeah, on stage, I'm prone to a Zambuca or a port.
Brilliant. So, is there anything else you'd like to add, please?
Just, I think, like with the new single and things like that, the "Be Kind" motto kind of got lost, I think, with the coronavirus and everything like that. And I think people have had so much time being at home, being frustrated, being bored, losing money, not seeing their loved ones. And I think it's impacted us as our generation in general. I think everybody has been touched by this. So just to remember that "Be Kind" thing, it's so easy to write a negative comment and react to what's going on in the world. and take a break from social media, talk to people about things opposed to making assumptions and jumping online and being a keyboard warrior, things like that. Because look, your words do matter. It is going to make a difference to someone. And with the rates of suicides and things like that in the world, and the coronavirus and all of these awful things, Donald Trump, all of these crazy things that are going on in our universe, we actually have the power to impact the smaller people. Just be nice, say something nice, give a heart emoji instead of writing something negative. You don't know what that person's going through, and I think people's mental health at the moment is at an all-time low. So when things are opening up and you're seeing people go into pubs and you don't think it's right, for them it is. They may have really needed that to get out of the house. They've been isolated by themselves. So just think outside your own world a little bit and just be kind. Yeah, just be kind. I told you I'm a waffler. Sorry.
No. It's all very good. I like the way you mentioned Donald Trump as.
I just threw that in there. See what I
did. Something interesting about him. I think I think Jim Carrey did some artwork which sort of depicted his sons harming animals. I think a few years ago. It's amazing how Trump really hasn't. This is the president of the States, man, and it's
the most powerful man in the world. I mean, what?
Yeah. And so, which also means that Jim Carrey wields some power as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the celebrities and stuff highlighting some of the misuse of his power is important, because the younger generation will be looking out to people like Jim Carrey and those other artists and stuff, more so than knowing what's going on politically. So they'll have an understanding that, let's teach our youngsters that crazy people like Trump really shouldn't be in power.
Trust me. But do you know, you put a hashtag on against, was it anti-bullying as well? I noticed that. I liked that a lot.
Yeah,
so,
I hate bullies. I was bullied all through school for being different, for singing and being gay and being out there and all that kind of thing. And I was one of the lucky ones. I'm a very strong personality, and I had my music to fall into in that. And there are lots of people that don't have that. That don't have that support or that escape that I do. I'd like to think I've never bullied anyone. I've definitely had disagreements and arguments that could probably be construed as that. I think we all have. We all say things in anger, but it's recognizing that there's too much of it going on, and social media is too easy for people to be victimized. And it's like a gang mentality. Everyone just jumps in, and it makes me really uncomfortable. So yeah, just be kind. Life's too short. I think that's been proven with the amount of people that we've lost over the last few months. Life is way too short. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So just go out with a smile and make someone's day.
Very, very true. It's a great way to live your life. Regarding your socials, so the listeners, because what I'm going to do, because this is our maiden sort of live stream on YouTube for Radiation. I've always ducked it and dodged it due to the technicals, and people are always asking me on interview, will it be videos? I'm like, oh no, we just do audio stuff. But I think so far nothing's fizzled out or burned, so everything's all good. I will be chopping the audio from this, adding this onto the radio show. I'll be playing out your tracks later on when I'm presenting live. So and also that'll be repeated throughout the early hours of the morning as well for the international listenership, which is always a good thing. Your socials though. So how would people get hold of you?
So I've tried to keep it simple so they're all the same. So it's just B Davidson Music. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all the same. Just B Davidson Music, all one word.
Brilliant. And I don't want you to have any regrets. So is there anything that you want to say that when you put down the phone and you say, damn, I should have said this to Dav? But yeah.
I will redo your voiceovers, because I'm pretty sure I was saying radiation London. And you're saying radiation, so I'll redo them and send them over, because I kept looked at it for ages and I was like, I'm going to say this wrong. And as soon as I came on and you started talking, I was like, don't. So I will redo them and send them across.
It's all right. Even if you just do it now, I'll edit it out of the audio. So if you just say, hi, this is Ben Davidson on radiation.london. That's it.
Okay. Hey, this is Ben Davidson on radiation.london.
Perfect. Job done.
As soon as you said it, I laughed to myself. I was like, "Oh God, he's going to listen back to them and go, really, Ben? That's not the right words."
No. I thought, should I just not say anything? But I thought, no, because it's going to get played out live on radio. So I thought,
Oh
over
no,
and
I
over
don't do
again.
shy.
So I just figured that I thought I'd be polite, but I've just saved you time 'cause knowing that you're fussy, right? I've just made you do it, so that saved you maybe half an hour because you'd be like, I haven't got it right, or you know what I mean. So at least
It's true story.
It's been an absolute honour having you on our first maiden video interview for Radiation. It's just brilliant, and we will support you in all the work that you do. There is the you balance the mundane work and the real work, which is the work that we're meant to do. Very very well. I.e. the law side of things and the music creativity, which you're driven to do. Just blessed to have you on the show. And
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a blast. I can talk for hours. I should have my own show, right?
You should. No, you stay on stage, man. That's one thing I've learned. Do what you're meant to do and kick ass. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Oh, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for having me.
That's a pleasure. God bless you, Ben.
Cheers. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.